What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review. I got an episode review for you guys. This week, or rather last Wednesday, was the very first episode, the series premiere of Marvel's What If series on Disney+. And what it is an animated series where they take a story that we're very familiar with from the MCU, and they change one little detail about it, and then eventually, like, as a result, it changes the course of history. Like, it creates an alternate universe. It creates an alternate universe very different from the one that we already know, but still we're really quite familiar with it because the story just plays out differently. However, it does make changes to a story we're very familiar with. And that story is the Captain America First Avenger film, the story rather. So they decided for that very first episode, they're going to change one small detail. And what that is that what if Steve Rogers didn't take the super serum? Instead, it was Peggy Carter. Excuse me. That makes for a very, very interesting scenario. And what it does, in fact, is it makes it a very, very exciting episode. This very first episode was awesome because it was action-packed. And one of the things that I loved about it, besides it being action-packed, because first of all, the action is very exciting and very stylish, and they just do a lot of things with the animation that they didn't do in of course the live-action version. They didn't make the action so exciting. But one of the main reasons why I loved about this series, or rather this first episode, besides the action, is that they take a story that we're very familiar with, they're revisiting it, and then they change it up. And that part is very interesting. It's very, very engaging in that sense, because you do want to know, well, what would happen to these characters, and what would happen to the course of the story that we already know? Well, it would do this, and they don't change it so much to the point where it's completely unrecognizable. They change it just slightly that it plays out a scenario we're familiar with just differently, and it actually just creates a more dynamic version of itself. And also what I love about it is that they're taking the story of Steve Rogers, the first Avenger, and I don't know about you guys, but Steve Rogers is my favorite Avenger. And, you know, it's because of his personality, his character, what he represents, you know, good, being very humble, inner strength, you know, a lot of those great virtues, really positive virtues, right? So that's why, you know, I and a lot of other fans love Steve Rogers. He's still there, and the thing is that you'd think just because Peggy Carter took the mantle of Captain Carter, you know, Cap, you'd think that Steve Rogers takes a back seat. No, actually, Steve Rogers is very much in this series. He still plays a very important role because he wants to fight in the war. So he still plays a very important role in this series, and I think it's great that they still have that chemistry there, that character, the character dynamics between the two. You know, Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers. I love that. Like, everything that we know about these characters is still there. It doesn't change it completely, where they're strangers. You know, they are still who they are. It's just the story plays out differently, and I love that. I love that it's you know, it takes a familiar story that we really, really love, and then they just change it up. And in a way, it kind of feels nostalgic because we are revisiting the story of the very first Avenger, and that came out 10 years ago. So there is that nostalgia there, and it's just cool to see it play out a little bit differently, but in a more stylized and exciting way. I actually love the animation style. It's like a combination of this CG animation and like anime 2D cel shading. It's like a combination of both. Or rather, it's like CG, but they make it feel like it's 2D. And it just looks really cool. It's like a very modern style of animation. And it just works for this series. So I really loved it. I can't wait to see the next episode. I wonder what they're going to do next with which story they're going to revisit and do differently. That's going to be really exciting. And there you have it. I highly recommend this, especially if you're an MCU fan. If you're a fan of Captain America First Avenger, I think you'll really love this episode. So do go check it out. It's showing on Disney Plus right now, okay? Anyways, my name is Alex. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.